Hi, fucking better late than never. Yes. 8:30 my time, right? No, it's literally never been that time. We did it one time for Bailey. And now you're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna push it back forever. It's always been like that. You were literally that meme where it's like walking into work late with a fucking iced coffee in my hand. Like,
Yeah. Yes. All of that. That's
that
me.
is you.
Hi. I'm like, why are my eyes hurting? So I don't have my glasses on. Hey, I'm a babysitter. Dolly's here to join us. Happy late International Women's Day.
Oh yeah. The
That one.
DJ at the club kept saying it. It was awesome. Bless that boy.
What's his name?
Misha.
Misha. Shout out to Misha.
Yeah, he actually he subscribes now, so he listens to the pod. No, he's like everybody loves him. All the girls love him. So yeah. I know he said it like every hour. Like Happy International Women's Day. Everyone was like, yeah.
Love that. Aw, I love that.
Yeah.
How's it been going over there at Mons?
Pretty decent. Yeah. That's it, building. I don't know what it's going to be like in the summertime. Florida tends to drop, like clubs in summer tend to drop. Although, like, when I was dancing across the street, I still had everyone's like, oh, wait, it's going to be crappy in summertime. But honestly, it really wasn't that bad. I had a pretty decent summer. Like, I understand, like, we don't get those busy nights, like, where it's, like, wall to wall. But I feel like it was still the same. Volume doesn't necessarily mean more money. Like, well,
No.
I'm sure it does for the pub, but not necessarily for the
I don't know, because that club here that was kind of used as more of an entertainment center than a strip club.
Oh, well, yeah,
That was
but
rough.
that's in like the Midwest, and the way that place was designed, like, I don't know, like that place should have been like in Chicago at least. You know what I'm saying? Like it's massive.
Oh yeah, it was huge. Sorry, I've got to turn this. I have a sad lamp. It was trying a little too hard there for a moment. Shining right in my eyeballs. Okay.
I
Can you
like
see
the
me
one.
good enough?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I like the lamp behind you. It's like slowly changing color.
Here,
So
share.
I got like I went and got a cancer check, right? And they put me in my little Shein paper dress. Shein paper dress.
Shein.
It literally did. It felt like that fabric that they make everything out of. That's why it's so cheap. Yeah. And then she checked me all over. But that was the reason that I went in was because I had this like it was super annoying. Do you know what a millia is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was originally, but it was like started out like little white hearts. I thought it was like little keratin spot, but then it would dry and get flaky, and then I would think it would go away, and then it would come back again and come back again. So I was like, I'm gonna go check it out. Get a skin cancer check. And she was like, yeah, this is sun damage, and we can freeze burn it now. Like we can leave it. You're gonna have to scab on your face, but we can leave it for a couple of weeks. Or we could do it now. It just sort of depends on what you've got going. I was like, just do it now. Can I put makeup on it? She said, you can put makeup on it. I was like, let's do it. So I'm expecting like the liquid nitrogen with the like little cotton bud things.
Yeah.
No, she pulled out what looked like a blowtorch and just directly had the nitrogen like blasting my face. So I don't know if you've seen Hostel with the scene with the Japanese girl and the blowtorch to the eyeball.
It's like hanging out of her skull.
I know, but that's what I was thinking about because it was like right under my eye, so she's literally pointing at it right there. It really wasn't that bad. Like it was. So it was really achy. I was like, wow, that really is incredibly like the whole area feels aches because it's like so. I mean, it's so cold that it's like a freeze burn. And then
Right by your eyeball.
right by my eyeball, like in my eye trough. And then this whole area like of my eye trough, like have you ever had like PRP
No, I haven't.
injections? Yeah,
Yeah.
so I I get the plasma injection things under my eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and then I always get like a blistery sort of like a little blister of fluid underneath. That's what I got, like a little bag of fluid under there. For the day, I got to cover it all up with like concealer. But it was in the dark anyway, so it's not like anybody. I don't think anybody really noticed, but I could notice. And now I have this little like scab right here, which is got to like dry up and flake off. But I kind of got in trouble from the dermatologist. She was like, "You're very young. You have to have something like this burn on your face. Do you wear sunscreen?" I'm like,
Mm.
"No." And I did used to like tan and tanning beds for like 20 years
We
regularly.
had this discussion on the fucking podcast.
I know, because I said that skin cancer would be the one to get me because I just tan so frequently. Like, I was like tanorexic for the longest time. I would just tan, I'm not brown enough, I'm not brown enough. And I would just tan like 3-4 times a week. But I didn't tan my face. But I did come from a country where there's no ozone layer. Like, there's a 10-minute bird time in New Zealand, right?
Oh,
We used to have
wow.
Yeah, so we used to get all these really hot Brazilian chicks would come and work at the club that I was at in New Zealand, and they got their butts. How are their butts? Brazilian girls always have the nicest butts. Anyway, and I'm not talking.
Yeah.
I guess that's what they call it, a BBL, but like they all have that butt naturally.
Mhm.
Anyway, monsters. All of them, a lot of them. No. So all of them would be like, I'm going to go hang out at the beach today. I've got to take the day off. And I'm like, okay, don't. Just be careful. Like, you can't lie out in the sun all day here. You will burn in like 10 minutes, I promise you. And they just like look at me because they've got these beautiful natural tans from laying out in the sun in their country. And I'm like, no, I'm serious. They just look at you like, fuck you, bitch. You have no idea what you're talking about. I am a professional tan. And then they show up like 2 days later at the club, like blistered, red, sick. Just like I was so sunsick yesterday. I'm like, yeah, it's no joke. I wasn't lying to you. The sun here is really harsh. Like, it like hates us. It's like
how? When did that start? As far as the ozone layer being completely,
I don't know. I remember being told that
wild.
Since I was a kid. Like, yeah, the sun in New Zealand and Australia is violent, just like everything else.
So I come from a very pale line of people that, and they've always had that. They've always had skin cancer in some form. And I burn easily, and my mom just kind of drilled that into me. And then when I started getting Botox and paying attention to the damage I was doing to my face, I just would rather not.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not pale though. Like, I'm not naturally white. Like, I've got like an olive complexion. So like with olive skin, and my skin's really translucent as well. So if I don't tan, I've got like, it looks like a really thin skin. You can see all my veins. Like, like I've got that see-through skin, and it's really olively. So I have the tendency to look sort of yellow if I'm not tan. But yeah, I did. I hope I did it for the longest time.
Good for you for catching it.
Yeah, I know. It's just going to be something that I have to wait. Like, I have to look out for, like, in the future. So, how's your week been?
Chaotic. Chris is getting ready for a race. It's just there's a lot going on at once.
Right.
Too much. And I'm trying to.
There was a shooting at Bike Week. I'm glad you guys went there.
I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No. There's just way too much testosterone there to even enjoy yourself. Because everyone's just kind of stepping up to each other, like showing off in one manner or another, and
Yeah. Yeah, I've never gone. Every year I'm like, oh, I should go. And like, I'll get invited to one thing or another. And then I'm like, yeah, I think I'm good.
I have enjoyed Daytona without any events happening,
Mhm.
and I really like that. But I'm like that with everything. Like, you know,
Mhm.
when I lived in Miami, like, okay, I'm in Miami, there's always something happening in Miami. It's not a big deal.
Right.
Kind of like that.
I don't know. I'm the opposite when it comes to Miami. I have to have a reason. Like, there has to be an event. Otherwise, like, why the fuck would I go to Miami? Like,
I
there has to be something that I am being paid to go to, or I have to go to for something because I'm not. I'm just Miami has
I
great parties and great events, but I don't want to live in fucking Miami. One thing that driving is just awful.
I'm referring to like the quiet hidden places that people don't go like
Mhm.
to party and stuff. When
Why
I
not
lived there,
beaches
I
on the other side though? Like I,
yeah,
yeah,
just
no,
drive south until you find a strip of beach and you're on your own.
right.
But every time my mom came to visit, we would just find a beach outside of Miami.
Mhm. But
I
then
like
you've
the
got to
quiet
drive
part.
through Miami.
It took
Like
me
I live
so
by a beach, it's fine.
I used to walk from one side of Miami down to Little Havana to go to my college campus. Oh, I'm sorry, I was
Mhm.
at Miami-Dade College, and eventually I didn't have my driver's license. I just moved to the States, so I was walking to school, and eventually I stopped at a DMV and was like, I'll try it.
Mhm.
It maybe shaved 30 minutes off of what 10-mile drive,
Mhm.
maybe.
Mhm.
I would have made it just as fast walking sometime. Like
Yeah.
you have to leave 2 hours before you want to be somewhere, and
I don't want to go through all that.
it takes
I
up all
don't.
of your day.
No, like no, I don't do it. I don't want to do it. It's the same reason I don't like live in California. Like there's all of the I just no, I don't want to deal with it. It takes all of the fun out of living somewhere that's pretty. You know, it just yeah. I feel like most of the people that live in like LA or they live by like a really pretty beach or you know like even in Miami like they're so busy fucking having to work to pay to live there. They
Uh-huh.
don't get to go see the pretty shit. That's just for the like ultra wealthy. They're just constantly stuck on those like horrific fucking like 5 lane goddamn highways. Like no.
With really aggressive drive.
With really aggressive drivers, especially Miami, because we know Floridian stuff. Like I no, I can't say shit about Floridian drivers because I drive like that. I'm with that behavior. Like, but no, like I just you know the problem with stuff like that is like it's the same in Atlanta. I don't know if you've ever driven like when you drive through Atlanta and you're on is it 75. And have you ever noticed that there'll be some old person doing like 35 and you go to pass them and then someone will fucking just about knock off your like mirrors because they're doing
Hmm.
90? Yeah, it's that. So
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta be yeah, you gotta be
Peoria
savvy.
is not great.
I don't imagine that it is.
So bad, but
What fun I mean it's
I
probably worse now that there's no fun places to go. What do people do now?
it's crazy because I'm in an area that is so close in proximity to where bad shit's happening that I'm getting all of the alerts on my neighborhood
Mhm.
app. But once you hit a certain point, none of that's here.
Yeah.
And I'm in a tucked away village area. So
Mhm.
I feel safe because of that. But we also knew dancers who, their kids' bedrooms got shot up. I mean, girls that
Mhm.
we worked with,
Mhm.
that's just right there. It's right
Right.
down the street. It's getting crazy. It's a lot of different issues at the same time, but it's all kind of happening.
It was going downhill when I left. Like I remember when I first moved there, it was fine. You know what I mean? There wasn't really anything to be worried about. Just and then you know those big businesses that were like so many people's jobs, they moved out of the area. clubs started having problems.
Mm-hmm.
They're closing down. Now there's nothing to do. Yeah. So no, it's like a massive combination. I feel like it's really similar to what happened in Detroit. But I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
feel
Detroit's coming back a little bit, right? It's kind of finding itself again.
I'm not sure because I haven't really brushed up on that. But here, I mean, there's just so much chaos.
And people were saying that shit about Peoria when I was there. They were like, "Why would you move to Peoria? It's shitty." And I'm like, "It's places is what the people who live there make of it." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So if we're gonna keep believing that this place is shitty, then it's gonna end up being shitty.
yeah. And everyone says that about where they live.
I try really hard not to because I feel like you speak that into existence, and and your surroundings are like it's very much like a matter of perspective. Do you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Yeah, because I'm sure
Yeah,
people find like I'm sure some people would fucking hate where I live. I love it. Like my
I love where
regular,
you live.
because I drive to Tampa. I live like an hour and 20 minutes away from Tampa, right? I don't live in Tampa, but I like working in Tampa. I like being close enough to Tampa for it to be, you know, a reasonable drive, and my drive's not bad. But like where I live is pretty like it's got a really cute little town. I don't live in the town. I live in the forest basically, and
You
it's
know
like
what?
yeah, for sure, I am like the forest witch. My one of my regulars was like, well, like up there that whole area there, that the nature coast is like kind of infamous for people that don't want to be part of society and they just want to be left alone. They're really antisocial. I'm like, yeah, hello.
Like, I love it.
Really only social when I'm being paid. Like the idea, if it's like it's so there's a group, like a group of like people went out like to do promo the other night, and I was so grateful that I was working because like just the idea of me going out drinking like for like any form of like social activity like with people that I work with is just like vomit. And I like the people that I work with. I just don't. That to me is just, and maybe it's because I used to go out and party when I was like 15. Do you know what I mean? Like me and my friends were going to like karaoke bars and drinking $3 tequila sunrises, needing no ID from like 15 years old, and then we would just go into the clubs. I honestly don't know how we got away with it. Like we would, but it was partying from like that age. So by the time I was like old, like by the time I became a stripper, that whole like party atmosphere sort of definitely gone out of me. And I went through like phases of it being really fun again. Like sometimes I would go finish at the strip club. We would close at 6 a.m. and then there's a club that my boyfriend at the time he was bouncing at. It wouldn't close till like 11:30 in the morning. So you can imagine the type of ratchet behavior I was getting up to.
I
And my
love it.
stripper girlfriends would go to this basement club and party till 11:30 in the morning. We're walking out on the weekends, chewing our faces off, and the people are pushing their children down the street in their strollers and going to
Hmm.
brunch. Do you know what a ratchet piece of human trash you feel like when you're
Yeah.
like when you're walking out of a club in midday daylight and there's people doing a marathon. Yeah, no. And so now I'm just like, dude, I'm 40 fucking years old. Like I'm just like not it just does not appeal to me. No, I just want to sit in the fucking forest, leave me alone. Like
Hmm.
I really do feel that. And no, I'm just not. I am an antisocial person except for when I'm not. Like I'm very much it's either I'm switched on or I'm switched off. And there's not that much in between really at all. Yeah.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
I'm uh on the same level there. And Chris is
Yeah.
very social. And I
Mhm.
once growing up, I had the same. I came from a country where you could just go to the clubs and drink. I was 13.
Right. Because it's
Uh,
18, right? Yeah, as well.
it was 16.
Oh wow.
So for me, or when I was around that 13, it was like my sister had to buy the beer for me, but my sister was only two
Right.
years older than me.
Right. Yeah, see, like Americans are so horrified with that because like it's 21. It's so strange. to me, like to be 21.
Yeah, we
And,
just got it out of our systems for the most part, and our parents we couldn't have a driver's license until you're 18, so no one was driving and drinking, or drinking and
see,
driving, and like our
we
parents
were the
picked us up from the
opposite.
club.
Okay, we were the opposite. It was like, well, that's kind of cool, but like, so we could get our driver's license at 15. We could start the process, and there's a 3-step process in New Zealand. You get your learner's permit, then you get your restricted, and then you get your full license. And then the drinking age is 18. So you have 3 years of learning how to drive before you can drink legally.
Maybe. Yeah, no, we especially being that we were part of the NATO base there, we were the kids. They made sure, as far as the SOFA agreement, the Status of Forces agreement, that we basically, if you're part of that group, would not be able to obtain a driver's license in any capacity before it was time for you to leave the country and go live elsewhere.
Oh, wow.
But as an Italian citizen, I was able to, I was eligible to, but for the trouble I got into as an American citizen, as an Italian citizen on an American installation, I never was able to get my driver's license. But when I moved, yeah, but then I had my American license. But when I moved to Germany, we had the option of getting an international license. So I just got an international one. And
yeah, that's
it's valid in Italy. Using the system.
Yo!
And guess who's still driving?
Hi. Brown motherfuckers!
Oh my gosh.
Can see you rocking into bass on a Vespa, like.
Thanks for listening to our trashy talk. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Mwah!